Hello, my name is Clint Hebenstreet, and this is my PechaKucha. I'm going to talk a little bit about beta testing today. Beta test is the test that you go through right before a game launches, and there are several different ways to do it. There's a closed test and open test and things like that. But over the years, I've tested quite a few games, and it used to be a very exciting thing to get an invite to. Um, Nowadays it seems a little bit less exciting because everybody is in beta. It's no longer a special club like it used to be. But my first game that I ever tested was Dark Age of Camelot, and this was in probably 2002-ish, something like that. But it was the only. It might actually hold the distinction of being the only closed beta test that I've been in before or since, really. But it was neat getting into a closed beta, which is not the same as an open beta. Closed beta tends to be a little bit earlier in the process and have a little bit more frequency of bugs. Um, and there was actually something to test. For example, when I started, the crafting system and the realm versus realm combat system wasn't even in place yet. So there, there were things getting implemented that needed to be tested for bugs and things like that. And I thought it was a really fun experience, and I was looking forward to doing another beta. This is basically just a list of several of the betas that I've been in. It's not a comprehensive list, obviously, because, well, there's not enough space to fit all the games that I've tested in here. So here's just a sampling. Notice how most of them are massively multiplayer games. Those seem to be the best for testing. Anyway, so two different kinds of beta tests. One is like this child who's lost in the mall. That's the way the devs treat you. They just say, go do your thing. And the other one is a little bit more restrictive. Um, they really kind of say, here you're going to test from level such and such to level such and such, and this is exactly what you want to do from here to here, and we're only going to be testing for 2 hours this week or this weekend or whatever. So it's quite a difference. And this is a new trend with the whole letting everybody into the beta thing, plus the pre-ordering. I think the pre-ordering has become a major problem with beta testing because they're starting to offer the beta test as a pre-order. I don't know what you'd call it, a gimmick. It's a reward for pre-ordering their game. And so this is the most recent game that I've tested, The Old Republic, and this is an example of a very closed test. Like I've tested it 2 or 3 times. Once was a very short period of time. It was just a test for 1 weekend, and we only got to go to level 9. And then the second one was open, but it was only for 2 days. So but there didn't seem to be any bugs to test. It was very strange. So whose fault is it that betas have gotten so mainstream that there's no community of testers out there anymore? It's just any person with a computer could get into a beta. You don't have to have any experience, you just have to have a certain kind of computer. Well, that's who the culprit is my guess. World of Warcraft was many things to many people, but the first thing it was bringing MMOs to the mainstream. I mean, we now have more people playing these types of games than ever before, and it's because of World of Warcraft. And so I think that in order to compete with World of Warcraft, games now need to offer incentives for pre-orders, for getting into beta, things like that, because WoW's still going strong for the last 7 years or so, and it's not showing any signs of stopping. So if you want to get your piece of the pie, you have to come up with ways of competing with the games that are already out there, be it offering in-game items for pre-orders, things of that nature. And of course, the developers have their hands tied because they can't really just have a closed beta with very few people playing it, because so many people are the show me people, and of course your publishers and whatnot, they want to see results, because what is this business about? It's about making money, and that's what your bosses want to see come through the door. They want to see these big piles of money coming through, and the only way to do that is to get those pre-orders and get your game out there for the general public to see, as fast as possible and for as long as possible, to keep people interested and wanting to continue with what they're doing. So anyway, I guess that's about it. There really isn't anybody that's responsible for all these problems. It's a combination of a bunch of things. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. And this is how I feel at the end of a beta when I'm waiting for the release to happen. It could be anywhere from days to weeks before I get to play the game again. So, thank you. Have a good one.